Launches are coming thick and fast, and a hairdresser is required very shortly. I'm going to need to get to a barber, but I've been cutting my own hair, but it's this length now, so we're doing okay. But we're at another launch. This is the new Arteon, or well, updated Arteon. There is a lot going on in this new Arteon. We're going to fly through it. Not going to spend a huge amount of time on this one because we will be driving this probably next year, maybe later this year, maybe next year. But there is some interesting little bits as I take you through a press launch. The modern parlance, the alternate of going to some other country to drive a car is this. We will be driving this at some stage soon though. Here we go, let's flick over to it. This is the PDF. As you see here, it is the Arteon models on a Skype call. That's what she's going to look like. It happened on the 24th of June. It didn't actually, it happened days ago, but it's actually Skype presented on 24th of June. Anyway, there's our experts that were in the room. I didn't record this one because I didn't really get into that kind of detail. Volkswagen ID3 is also on the way, but this is, we're going to have a look at all of the shooting brake one as well, which is the one we all want to see, of course. It's avant-garde. You can see what they're doing, the styling, the R part of it here, they've maybe rounded off the nose of that a little bit more as well. It does look a little wider, a little broader. There's a new R model, travel assisted there as well. This is the shooting brake one. Look at that, yo, look at the exhaust. I don't even care they're fake. The thing is so pretty. Look at it. That looks like a proper shooting brake. Here it is again, real long, elongated. You can see they're going after the Peugeot 508. You can see they're going after the Skoda Superb. You can see they're going after that powerful shoulders, as it says here. More storage space and more headroom. Very interesting. The rear end is quite nice. You notice here it's not 4 tailpipes, it's 2 on the back of this one. You know, when I go back up here again, you can see the 4 tailpipes on that one because it's the R line, and this one here is probably not the R line. It's 2 single ones. So here's its competition, what they see. 3 Series Touring, 5 Series Touring, Mercedes C-Class T, E-Class T, A4 Avant, and Volvo V60. And Arteon itself has the same sort of competitors in here. You notice that they mentioned Audi in the middle of this, which of course is their sister company, and the Peugeot 508 GT, but you notice the Peugeot 508 is not mentioned on this side as a competitor. I would say it is actually a competitor, but the 508 GT is listed here as a competitor for its saloon model. Exterior, you can see what it's done here. They've integrated this chrome bar across the center of it. They've additional separate air inlets. They've changed these kind of air inlets around the outside here. You can see them here in the front of this one. A lower air inlet and a C-shaped frame. Continuous LED strip as well. 2 single tailpipes on this one. This one has 4. So 2 double flow tailpipes. So you got 4 tailpipes basically there. Now, equipment lines, so you can see here you're going to get in the R 235 kilowatt or 320 PS 4-cylinder, which is specific R differentiation. How do you say that? In exterior, someone's shouting at the screen now, and I know you're shouting at the screen. We're going to move on. 20-inch alloys. Elegance gets 18-inch Muscat wheels. R-Line gets 18-inch Sebring wheels, and you can see the difference between the two. I'm not going to labour over each one of these things. Here's our exterior colours. I love this lapis blue. It's absolutely gorgeous, really is pretty. We'll have a look at good pictures in a minute. There is the alloys selection. I really like the Estral ones. I think that's very pretty, although when you put a brake caliper behind it, it might look very open. Interior styling is this touch sensitive steering wheel, kind of caught my eye on that one. A new air conditioning unit, which is this thing here, and you've also got these slidey. See these little, if I hold my mouse, I know you might have to zoom in here. Can I zoom in on that? Is it possible for me to zoom in on those pictures? It is, but can I get... So look, they're not knobs, lads. These things here are not knobs, right? They're going to be slide your finger back and forward type of thing. That's what they're going to be. New imitation. The word imitation was often something, absolutely something people did not want to talk about. Nobody ever wanted to use the word imitation when it came to car. Nobody ever wants to use the word cheap. Yet here we are. Imitation leather is on the headline because they don't want to say that they have real leather in the car these days. Now everybody actually does want to have imitation leather, so it's now part of it. Interior is now more clearly in line with the positioning of Arteon. Elegant real wood veneers and eucalyptus regal, all that. Materials are redesigned, and this are refined interior. Metal, these are metal now, little metal touches, crosshatch, aluminium and stuff. And you have leather seats and different designs here. Vienna leather, titanium. Now it does say leather covers, so I imagine that some of this stuff is real leather. Harman Kardon is doing a sound system, a 700 watt 16 channel Ethernet booster. Ethernet booster, right? 12 high performance speakers. This would be in the top end, of course. 30 colours, and like they are big in the back. Arteons are quite big in the back. Remember, this took over from the Passat CC or CC. I was finished off. When it was finished, there is the volume space in the back. 565 litres in the shooting brake, 563 litres in the Gran Turismo. But you can see the space in the rear seat is actually bigger than the Gran Turismo one as well, and that is because of this sloping roof. The roof slopes off, so they've got to move the seats ever so slightly forward, so you do lose some leg room and some upper body room in the back of the Gran Turismo. I strongly suggest you need to be going there to shoot and brake one. Look at the interior, isn't it beautiful? Apart from the no knobs, but there is physical place to touch it, so that's okay. I have to test it to see what it's like. Digital Pro Digital Instruments is going to be throughout this one as well. Always on eSIM and WeConnect services is something that still troubles me. I still don't like sharing all my data, where I've been and what I'm doing, where I'm going. And I know you're all going to shout at the screen again now and say, well, you know, you share that stuff all the time on your phone, in your pocket. But I'm aware of that. I've been aware of that sharing capacity, that trade I traded off with Apple and Google early on, that said, yes, you can track me. I'm letting you do it because I know you're going to do certain things with that information. And that's it. And I use an Apple phone because I know Apple's going to try and protect me, at least in some way. But I just don't know what. I haven't made that deal with a car. I never made that deal with a Volkswagen or with a car. So I'm always a little bit dubious on what you're sharing and what you're not sharing. So this one also has a charging tray, which is fairly common these days. WeConnect and WeConnect Plus. Have a look at that. Real-time navigation data such as online traffic. Why wouldn't you want to use, you know, this real-time stuff that they try and upsell you to? Why wouldn't you just use Google Maps or Apple Maps? Apple Maps now comes with built-in finding an electrical charge station. You know, now it's on Apple Maps, it's on Google Maps, it's on all the maps. Apple CarPlay is an amazing feature. Google, the Android version of it, is a bit weak. It's a bit more kind of playful or childlike looking. It's not as refined looking as the Apple CarPlay, but they both work fine. They're both, you know, useful things. So I don't know why you would want to pay more for a service like WeConnect just for nav and things, you know. Anyway, use some music streaming services. I already subscribed to Spotify. Car functions can be controlled from mobile phone. Don't really want to do that unless I want to start the car when I'm not in it. Arteon e-hybrid using WeConnect. The driver can pre-cool and preheat the interior to start a charging process. So you can see that the PHEV versions of these, of which there is going to be one, the e-hybrid will have a connectivity system, so you can just turn it on, turn it off only while it's plugged in. I bet you you won't be able to do it while it's not plugged in. Also, location of the car using GPS, like you're going to lose it, you know. Mobile key for access to the car via smartphone. Now this is very interesting. This is coming. So it says for selected Samsung smartphones, but ignore that. I have seen this operational as an app on various devices, already being preloaded into certain cars. You will do away with keys. Essentially, you will turn in your mobile phone, the way you use Revolut currently, the way you use your face unlock, the way you use your key, your fingerprint to unlock the phone and things. That's the way your car is going to go. And this is very close future. So this is very near. This will be in this generation of cars that are on the way. It'll already be there. Maybe it won't be enabled, but it'll already be there. I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay. I don't really need a key. I think a key is just a cumbersome thing you carry around in your pocket. Some cars, the Audi A1 I had a couple of weeks ago, it does have an actual keyhole. You would start a car with a proper key. That's going away as well. So we'll see how it goes. It's all going to your mobile phone. We're going to have in there. IQ Drive Travel Assist is very good. This is active cruise control essentially, but a tiny bit more advanced than that. Still not going to be safe to do. No matter whether your name ends in Tesla or your name ends in Volkswagen, you should keep your hands on the wheel at all times. There is no way for a car to predict a blowout, and there's no way for a car to predict someone just changing lanes and bashing into the side of your car and driving up the hedge. If your hands aren't on the wheel, you can't do anything about it. Nothing. The car is just going to career into a lump. So Nothing, I guarantee we are not very near fully automated driving, no matter what test they call it, whether they call it autopilot or they call it active cruise control or they call it IQ drive or travel assist. It's not, it's an aid to get you to where you want to go, and I love it. On a motorway, it's absolutely brilliant. Coming now in the Arteon in a bigger way. So here's the assistance system overview. Lane assist, travel assist, park assist, rear view. Park assist I find very annoying, just really slow and cumbersome to get into a parking space. Side assist has proactive passenger parking system and lane change assistance, so they'll be able to change lanes like the Teslas out there. So here's our engines. This is the TSI version of it. You're going to have a 1.5 TSI, 110 kilowatt, one of the better engines that they actually make. But there is now a selection of 3 petrol 2-litre TSI engines with different outputs: 190, 280 PS, 320 PS. The higher rated one, this one here, optional 4Motion, and this one has specially configured 4Motion 4-wheel drive. So that's a top spec version of that. Moving on to TDI, we're going to have the 2-litre TDI Evo with 150 PS and 200 PS. Dual SCR catalytic reduction system, twin dosing technology, reduces nitrogen oxide by up to 80%. 80% over what? It doesn't say. 80% over a tractor? Yes. 80% over the last generation? Don't know. Increased efficiency while also increasing power. Smooth running, high degree of insulation, quiet interior, 147 kilowatt power setting with 4Motion 4-wheel drive as an option. Let's just discuss that further for 1 second. So if we go back across it, dual SCR catalytic reduction system. That sounds fantastic. Essentially what we're talking about is getting rid of nitrogen oxide out of the system. So twin dosing means that it gets a dose of AdBlue, then another dose of AdBlue, then gets burnt at a higher rate. So essentially you're not really getting, well, nearly anything out of the exhaust as you drive along. Under normal circumstances, it will dump it out on motorway technology. So sounds good. Haven't driven the engine yet, so I won't know what that's like until I actually have a go. Part 7, the hybrid version. This is the electrifying of the class. You can see the hybrid system is put in here and the battery pack in the back here. Plug-in hybrid technology, efficient, yeah, we've done that. 1.4 litre. You notice that to put in a 1.5 as a TSI on its own, a 1.4 for the hybrid version of it. I approve of this. The 1.4 litre petrol engine that Volkswagen made was without doubt their finest engine at the time. It's a really, really class little engine, the 1.4. If you can find a used car from the Volkswagen range in a 1.4, spot on. No bother with that one. Anyway, here we go. 160 kilowatts, what you're going to get, 218 PS. Fully electric up to 54 kilometers. Very specifically 54, not 55. 54, not 50. Anyway, 13 kilowatt battery capacity and an E license plate. Probably applies just to Germany, that one. So there's the hybrid version of it in the estate or in the shooting brake version. Zero emission driving for major daily journeys, majority of daily journeys. Look, that's marketing talk. I don't review marketing speak. Realistically, this is not a zero emissions car. It's a 1.4 TSI. If it's a TSI engine, it's a combustion engine. If it's a combustion engine, it emits CO2 and probably some NOx as well. But PHEVs and hybrids tend to be very, very efficient in around town. They tend to not engage the engine very often. They tend to engage the battery a hell of a lot and only engage the engine when they need to recoup a little bit of power. It's often done very cleverly, and if the software is good, which I hope, fingers crossed, going to be good on these ones, because Skoda has been there and done that, and we've already got a Passat PHEV, so they're aware of how it works. It should be very efficient. Look at that car, gorgeous. Arteon R, here we go. This is the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo Evo 4, 235 kilowatts, 320 PS. This is going to get a torque splitter. Torque splitter is not quattro, not quite the same, not quite run on Haldex. It's a kind of a new development. They're doing it through software and through other stuff. They're lowering the chassis or the car by 20 mils. They were going to put in 4-wheel drive into it as well, and 420 Newton meters of torque, and it's gorgeous. That exclusive lapis blue is only for the R line in this version of it. This will be the press car, I reckon. This one will come here. 18-inch performance brake system, blue calipers. You're going to get painted calipers as well, and that kind of is. There's our management team over the whole thing who's done it. They all spoke and had their turn on speaking about it. Now that is what we're looking at as the Arteon and Arteon shooting brake that is coming at us. We're going to get a PHEV version of it. We're going to get petrols, we're going to get diesels, we're going to get choices. I continually say that petrol and diesel has a place in our future for certain. There's no way you can match what a diesel can do with electric at the moment. For now, for the next foreseeable future, petrol and diesel are going to be here for a long period of time. Good to see the addition of a PHEV to the range, which I'm quite excited about, because driven the Passat PHEV air down the year, there's a review on the channel. Absolutely outstanding piece of kit. Really enjoyed that thing. There's so many new versions of this Arteon on the way. Now, they're not, obviously not new. It's not a brand new car, but it does look absolutely outstanding. It's nice to see that the model is continuing. Remember, this was a derivative of Passat at one time. They called it Passat CC. Then it became the CC. Then it disappeared. And that was pretty much where we left it. One of my all-time favourite looking cars. The Arteon is starting to get into that same realm. It'd be quite nice to get there. Huge amount of documentation to go with this car as well. You can check it out once I get a spin in it, which will be later on this year, I hope. ID3 I'm hoping to see very soon. I really am. Everybody has emailed me 1,000 times about ID3. There is a video out there. There's a couple of videos on ID3. There's a new one coming on the way to Ireland. We're going to see more of it coming in the next little while. I was at another press conference this morning for the ID3, local Irish information, but I've given that to you already. It's already up there in the link at the top. ID3, check that one out. It's going to be an exciting, really exciting second half of this year as car companies just pound away at the cars that are coming out, and it's great. Hopefully that Arteon will be a massive success, because I love the look of the cars, particularly that Arteon R. It's just outstanding looking. In the shooting brake one, it's gorgeous. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me for this little brief look at the Arteon now that the embargo is lifted. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is the only way we can do car launches now. We have to do them sitting in an office because we're all socially distant. We can't fly anywhere and we can't go drive these cars. So I will get to drive it later on this year, and we'll see if I can get a nice little video out of that. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. List of links down below to support the channel, which would be absolutely outstanding if you could. Become a member. Go on over to Patreon, go over there if you want to use that. You can use memberships here. You can just send a PayPal. You can buy me a beer that way. Whatever way it is that you think that these videos are working for you. Hopefully you'll be able to join me on Sunday for the Sunday service, which is a 2-hour live stream. You'll be able to see it right here on this channel. If you subscribe and click the little bell icon, you will get a notification on Sunday when it's going live. It's a very, very, very active 2-hour live stream that I do here every Sunday, like a radio show. Also comes out in a podcast. You want to check it out, it's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, the Sunday service with Bob Flavin. Anyway, that's it from me. Hopefully you will look after yourself until I see you again, and until the next time, I will see you on the far side.